The bell above the diner door rang softly as the late afternoon crowd thinned out, leaving behind the smell of coffee and fried onions. Rain slid down the windows in thin silver lines. In a booth near the back, an elderly man sat very still. His hands rested on a worn leather wallet. Fingers curled around it, as if holding it together also kept his memories from slipping away. His name was Walter Harper. He was 84 years old, his shoulders bent by time, his white hair neatly combed despite the years. Across from him sat his grandson, Noah, quietly stirring his coffee. Every Thursday, Noah brought his granddad here. Same booth, same order, same silence. Walter liked routine. Familiar places made the past feel closer. A young waiter approached with their food. He couldn't have been more than 26. Calm posture, tired but kind eyes, the kind of face shaped by long shifts and quiet patience. His name tag read Militars. He set the plates down and reached for Walter's empty cup. And that's when Walter gasped. His breath caught sharply, like the air had been knocked from his chest. His fingers tightened against the table as he slowly lifted his eyes to the waiter's face. "You have my son's eyes," Walter whispered. The words were barely louder than the rain, but they froze the young waiter in place. Noah looked up instantly. "Granddad," the waiter laughed nervously. "I'm sorry." Walter didn't blink. "That shape," he said softly. "That color. I used to see those eyes every morning." Noah stood up, embarrassed. "I'm really sorry. My granddad, sometimes I am not confused," Walter said firmly. His voice was steady, clear, stronger than it had been in years. "I know what I see," the young waiter swallowed. He'd met lonely customers before, people who mistook him for someone from their past. But this was different. There was no confusion in Walter's eyes, only recognition. "My father died when I was very young," the waiter said quietly. "That's what I was told." Walter's hand flew to his mouth. Noah felt his stomach drop. "No," Walter whispered. "No." He didn't. Before anyone could speak again, Walter collapsed forward. His teacup tipped and shattered on the floor. "Granddad!" Noah shouted. The young waiter rushed around the booth, catching Walter before he hit the table. "Call an ambulance," he yelled. The diner erupted into chaos. Chairs scraped. Voices rose. The young waiter cradled Walter's head as his eyes fluttered open. "Don't disappear again," Walter whispered. "Please, don't." The ambulance arrived within minutes. Noah rode with his granddad, gripping his hand, while the young waiter stood outside in the rain, watching the doors close. He didn't know why, but he knew this wasn't over. At the hospital, doctors stabilized Walter. Exhaustion, dehydration, shock. Later that night, Walter looked at Noah and asked, "Did you see him?" "Yes, Granddad." "That's Daniel," Walter whispered. "I'd recognize those eyes anywhere." Noah hesitated. "Daniel was declared dead. There was a funeral. They never let me see his body," Walter said quietly. "They said the fire was too severe." I believed them. 2 days later, the young waiter came to the hospital. He didn't know how to explain the pool. He felt only that he couldn't ignore it. Walter cried when he saw him. "You came," he whispered. The waiter sat beside the bed. "I don't know why," he said, "but I couldn't stop thinking about you." Walter squeezed his hand. "Do you have a scar behind your left ear?" The young man stiffened. "Yes, I've had it my whole life." "So did my son," Walter said. "From climbing a tree when he was 8. The truth unfolded slowly. Adoption records, fire reports, DNA tests. The results came back 3 weeks later. The young waiter was Daniel's son. Daniel had survived the fire long enough to become a father. In the chaos, the baby was separated and lost in the system. Daniel died believing his child was safe. Walter lived believing his son was gone forever. When the truth settled in, it broke something and healed something at the same time. "I looked for you," Walter said through tears. "I swear I did. I believe you," the young man replied. "I think we were just waiting for the right moment." Months passed. Walter grew weaker, but his spirit felt lighter than it had in decades. The young man became part of a family he never knew he was missing. One quiet evening, as rain tapped gently against the window, Walter whispered, "You came back to me." That's all I ever needed. Walter passed away 2 nights later, peacefully, with his grandson and great-grandson holding his hands. The diner still stood on the corner. The bell still rang. But for them, it would always be the place where a whisper changed everything. Where a granddad's love crossed decades of silence, and where a life that began in loss finally found its way home.